Hello YouTube, this is galacticmarine501's and today I'm going to be doing two reviews on figures from Halo Reach. I got, here are the packages by the way, Emil and George. And you may be asking, well those figures are old news, why did you get them? That's specifically why I got them, because they're the only two Noble members that I actually care about. I may end up getting the 6 if I can find it with a really cheap price, because the thing is, I'm not hugely enthused about the Noble 6. I would get the Spartan Mark 5B custom, or the Spartan Mark 5B male. This one, right here, the red one. It's closer to my 6. My 6 is red instead of gray. Because they have so many blue guys on the team but no red, and actually I am a blue team fan. I've said this before, but you know, red is cool. I do like the red in this suit. It's a little more dynamic and it stands out a little more. But yeah, I got Emil and George. The two that I'd like to get from this set still are I'd eventually like to get the whole collection from all of the series, but since that's probably not going to happen, I would still like to get the Elite Minor, the Grunt Ultra, the Hazop Yellow. The Hazop Olive is not that original, and the Mark 5B Red and the Hazop Steel. I may get 6 just because he's steel, and I like to get the steel variants of the armors, because of the fact that I just like the plain steel, and they're easier to paint if you want to paint them up. The reason I would paint is because I want to do a custom figure Nobles. I want to do my Noble 6, and I've noticed with the McFarlane toys that their joints are on ball joints. So if you want to take a specific element from one, like the shin guards from George, for example, you can do that relatively easily. So yeah, I'm not going to pop one off on these because obviously they're new and I don't want to mess them up. But I did have a few old ones that I painted up for a project, and I was trying to unpaint one of the joints. Got stuck with the paint, so I was just trying to manipulate it, and I popped it out. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's on a cap joint or a ball joint or whatever. It's on a little joint in there that you can pop out if you try hard enough. But I wouldn't recommend it necessarily on all figures, just to jump in and do it, because you never know, they may do something different. But yeah, so anyway, he comes with his signature chain gun, which I have him holding in quite an awkward pose, but anyway, yeah. His backpack, obviously, which pops off, and underneath there's this strange little peg that's indented a little ways. Now, as far as play features, he has a space where, here, you know what, I'm going to borrow something from Emil. I'm going to borrow his grenade and his shotgun. Okay, there we go. He has a place on the back of the backpack where a weapon can be stored, like a shotgun. I'm not going to stick it all the way in for the sake of time. There. And he also has those on his legs. Sadly, the shotgun is the only weapon I have, considering that these are the only two Reach figures or Halo figures that I have accessible right now. He has one of those on each leg. Then he also has, if I take off the backpack, you notice those two little unsightly pegs back there? Yeah, those are so you can store equipment, either ammo cartridges, which I'll show when I get to Emil, or grenades. And basically what you do is you just pop it on, there. And so I'll pop his backpack back on. And the paint application is really good on this guy. I found no problems whatsoever when I looked at him for the first time and still can't find any. The weathering's a little scratch. Well, there's weathering that's, I think, should be a little more defined, but hey, it's weathering, so it doesn't really have to be super defined. Okay, but anyway, so the next figure that I have to show is Emil. Now, a lot of people have problems with Emil, but I don't. I actually like Emil. He's actually my second or third favorite. I'm debating him. It's a tie between him and Carter. for second. June is my favorite because I've always been a fan of snipers, and yeah. Oh, and an update on June. I saw the June figure, but I decided not to get it because they also had Emil and George, and I found a little more of a immediate need to get them because they are Series 1 figures, whereas June is the new Series 3, so they're going to be producing a lot more of him. So anyway, here's Emil. One of this guy has a little bit of a problem. If you look really closely at the eye, there, the eye is a little offset, so there's a little part of the eye that should be painted that's white. But, I mean, it's not that huge of a deal, and you can actually not see it when it's farther away, and it sort of adds to the improvised skull look. And here's his Kurikiri, which is really nicely. I like the silver on it. I don't know. I get it's just a knife, you're gonna say, but I like the silver. The one nitpick I have about this guy is that he can't put his Kurikiri into his holster, into the holder on his shoulder, so he's either holding the Kurikiri or he doesn't have a spot for it. Now he has the same pack on his leg like Jun does, so he can't attach a sidearm there. However, he can attach a sidearm on the other side, which Jun had his grenade that he could attach there. And I think I reviewed that figure. If I didn't, tell me, because I have the Square Enix, oh god, what are they called? Master Kai, Square Enix Kai figure. It's a really nice import figure of June. And I'd really like to review that if I haven't already. So if I haven't, shout me, give me a shout. And another thing, the other nitpick I have about this guy is he doesn't hold his shotgun very well. He doesn't have a trigger finger hand, which is kind of annoying when you've got a Halo figure, who most of these guys use guns. So a trigger finger hand would have been a nice bonus. But yeah, if you do some finagling and get his other hand on the slide, he can eventually end up holding the shotgun. It's not as easy as just having him hold the Kurikiri, and he is just, and I'm actually thinking of having the, there we go. Well, yeah, it's hard to get it into his hand in a good pose, but, so yeah, that's the best I can do. And, I mean, he could always hold the Kurikiri in this hand, but that's not the hand he uses for the Kurikiri, because it's impossible. Well, I guess he could, but it would be quicker just to go and grab it and pull it out. But, yeah, so, there you go. And the other little element that I want to show you is, if you look on his back, he's got the grenade, but then he's also got those two little canisters. Those are extra ammo shells, either that or stun grenades, I'm not sure, but they look like shells for the shotgun to me. If I know that little about Halo, be sure to post it, because, I mean, I do have the encyclopedia, but the encyclopedia doesn't cover Reach, so I'm not as fluent in Reach lore as I am in Halos 1, 2, and 3. The lore, at least. I know a lot about the original story of Reach, like, before they introduced Noble Team as they are in the game. And, I have to say, these figures are pretty good. The Square Enix Kai are better, and I know I could get June and 6 in Square Enix Kai, and probably Carter, Cat, and George by this point, but I'm not going to, because, I mean, these are 9.49 I got mine for. I got these two guys for $9.49 a piece, and those are $49.99. The Square Enix Kai versions. Well, $49.99 in America. They're less over in Japan, but because they're import figures, the only store that sells them in the U.S. obviously jack the prices up. But those are much better. So if you just like one of the nobles and you don't really care about the others, I would go with the Square Enix Kai figures, because they are better. Even though Square Enix is a bunch of jerks, watch my video that talks about Square Enix being jerks in the title. But yeah, so I hope to get back to you, hopefully at the end of this week, possibly with Carter, Cat, and June. Really depends on like I have $25. I have a $25 check from my aunt for Easter, and if I can get like $10 more, then I'll be good to buy those guys. And so if I can get those three, I'll show you those now in about a week. But I'm actually saving the $25 check for something else related to these figures, and that would be the Warthog. And in fact, I've cleared off an entire shelf on my shelves that I'm not going to use for Gunpla. It's right below my actual bookshelf, and well, my manga shelf, but still a bookshelf. And I'm going to use that for the a Warthog and my Reach figures and a few of my Halo 3 or extended Halo line figures. I picked up Master Chief, the Arbiter, and a few others just to round out the collection. Actually, Kay! Sorry, that was my mom. She was telling us we're gonna eat. Actually, there's something that I'm gonna do, that I'm thinking of doing recently. Like tonight. I'm going to do one tonight. That I've never done before, and I don't know if you guys will like it, but, so if you're on and see this today is the 20th. If you're on and see this and say absolutely don't, then tell me now so I don't. But I'm actually going to have to upload this from the Flip, because it's really hard to do this and be able to play Xbox at the same time. But basically what I'm going to be doing is, quick tips, like quick ways to edit on Forge, and something that I found in one of the levels of Forge. If you've ever played Halo Reach and gone into Forge, there's a level called Asylum, and there's a cliff that's usually certain death. However, I was in editor mode, and I just wanted to see how far down the cliff went before you died. And so I just went down there, and there's a whole hangar in the side of the cliff that you can access. It's on the map, it's completely legit, but it's really hard to get to, and there's actually a death ball near there. I took the death ball out so I can get to it easier. I made a custom variant, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I did. I put roost area, like a little roost area, because I usually play with my two friends, and basically what we do is just basically weapon testing, just mess around with weapons and do stuff, and vehicles. But what I did in the hangar comes completely bare. There's nothing in there. Now there are a few Falcons, a few Banshees, and a few ammo crates off to the side, and a big triangular doohickey in there. I don't know what it's called, but it's a scenery piece. But and there's a little one of the pyramid blocks on the side of the thing, so I can hit it better with my jetpack. And I also am going to be cheating in this. I'm going to turn invincibility on, because I want to try to hit it, but I also don't want to die, like, because I forgot to hit my jetpack and then just get a fall kill and then fail. But, so, I'm going to do a few simple Forge editing, like how to do some stuff and how to make sort of custom things, like, not really advanced stuff, and some of you may be like, well, duh, but just for those of you who haven't tried Forge, and those of you who just kind of think, well, I can't do much of anything in Forge, which I thought until a friend of mine basically showed me what I'm going to pass on to you. So, thanks for watching. This has been galacticmarine501 /JacksonWolfXia. Out.